Hi everyone, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. I hope you've all had a fantastic long weekend and that you're ready to face the new week full of gusto. Today our focus is on the core. I want you to think of the core not just in terms of the tummy, but in terms of the whole trunk, so front and back chain, as well as the front and the back chain of the legs. We're going to kick off with a little bit of dynamic movement, just get the body warmed up after that long weekend sitting, lounging around. And then we'll get stuck in a little bit longer, hold a little bit deeper. You play where you're comfortable, and then we'll bring it to an awesome little stretch and breath work to wrap up. All right, let's begin with our dynamic movement. Standing in a comfortable summer seating with the feet just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. You're going to give me an alternate shoulder tap as you bend and pivot on the back leg. Keep your belly button firmly pulled in and keep pulling up strongly from the pelvic floor towards your waistline. Start activating those tummy muscles after lounging around. You're going to give me two more like this, and then we're going to play with a dynamic chair, and we're going to change it up today. Heel toe in for me, connecting your big toes and your ankles. Standing up nice and tall, exhale, sit back on a chair, inhale to float back to your mountain. Move dynamically between the two. If the legs and the knees are feeling a little bit achy, I want you to open up your feet and keep them hip width distance apart. So play where you're comfortable. Give me three more like this, then we'll change it up and we'll move into a side chair. Come back to your mountain and give me hands in prayer just in front of your heart center. Take a big breath in for 5. Exhale for 10 as you sit down. Inhale for 5 and then exhale for 10 as you cross over the midline of the body. Opposite elbow to knee. Hold, weight into your bum and your heel. Inhale, come back towards the center line. Peel up, shake it out if you need to. Big inhale in, exhale, sit down. Inhale for 5, exhale for 10 as you cross over the midline of the body. Inhale for 5 as you come back. Exhale for 10 as you peel up. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 10 as you sit down. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 10 as you cross over the midline of the body, opposite elbow to knee. Inhale for 5, come back. Exhale for 10, peel up, shake it out if you need to. Big inhale in for 5. Exhale for 10 as you take a seat. Inhale for 5. Prepare to cross over the midline of the body, opposite elbow to knee on the exhale. Inhale for 5, peel back. Exhale for 10, take it up. Let's do one more. Exhale as you come down. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 10 as you peel over the midline of the body. Inhale, bring it back. Bring it up over the center line. Shake it out. Last time. Exhale as you bring it down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you take it over the midline of the body. Inhale to bring it back. As you peel up over the center line, drop down to the knees. We're going to play with our camel line. Hips stacked over the knees. Keep your current orientation on the mat. Start with the arms at your sides, fingertips softly at the side. Inhale, bring it into a back bend. Exhale, nod chin to your chest. You're going to move dynamically between the two. Inhaling every time as you come into the supported back bend and exhaling as you nod your chin to your chest. Keep gently rinsing and repeating and play with that soft pull-up along the inner thighs and the lower abs to keep your frame nice and high. We're going to do one more dynamic and then we'll change it up. Keep your left leg where it is and step out on the right so that you've got more or less a straight line between the heel of the right foot and the knee on the left. Place your right hand palm on the inside of your knee and bring the left hand into your lower back. Take a little supported back bend. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 10 as you step wide on the left. Bring your right hand into the lower back. Nod your chin to your chest. Step wide. Start tying your breath into the movement. Exhale as you drop your chin to your chest. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 10 as you step wide. Inhale for 5. Exhale as you nod your chin to your chest. Last step, out to the side, one to each side. Bring it back to the midline of the body and take your last step out. From here, you're going to keep your sideways orientation on the mat. Relax the bridges of your feet. Sit back on your heels, scooch off to one side and set yourself up on the elbows. So sit up at the front of your mat with space to play behind you. Bend one elbow stacking underneath your armpit. Replicate on the other side. Clip the 2 feet together. Keep your chest tracking up to the ceiling, so try not to collapse your frame. Use your inner thighs and your lower abs and give me a single leg lift up and down on the right. Driving the movement from the top of your thigh muscle and your lower abs, so all the work happening above your knee line. Activate your powerhouse, your core. Change sides. Make sure that you're nice and strong through the shoulders and that you're using your thigh muscles and your lower abs to drive that movement. Let's do 2 more on this side, then we'll bring it down onto the back. So as you complete the last one, bend the knees and connect the soles of your feet to the mat. Scooch down onto your back. Feet and knees more or less hip-width distance apart. Interlace the hands behind your head. Give me a nice wide elbow. Start in a neutral spine position with a little space between your lower back and the mat. Take a big inhale in. On the exhale, scoop, round out, floating your legs up to table and the arms wide. Bring it back down to the mat. Exhale every time you scoop and imprint. Inhale as you come back down to the mat. Keep rinsing and repeating. Make sure that when you scoop, that you bring the weight off your shoulders. Imprint that lower back into the mat. Keep rinsing and repeating. When you come up through the elbows, check that you're not hugging the arms in towards the midline of the body. So keep those elbows nice and wide. Scoop, peel up. Give me 2 more, then we'll change it up and we'll play with the next progression. As you complete your last one, bring the arms and the legs into extension along the mat. Neutral spine, so a little space between your lower back and the mat. Big inhale to prepare. On the exhale, scoop, peel up. Legs to 90, arms floating just off the mat. Inhale to float your arms and your legs just off the mat. Exhale to scoop and peel up. Inhale to come back into extension. You can give me a bent leg alternative and drop the soles of your feet to the mat if working with an extended leg line loads the lower back too much for you. So play where you're comfortable, either legs at table or working with an extended leg line. Exhale every time you peel up. Inhale as you reconnect gently to the mat. Give me 2 more, then we'll bring it into a dynamic bridge. So as you complete the last one, end with the knees bent and the soles of the feet connected to the mat. Swim the arms around the body, back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking down into the mat. Feet not too far, scooch them up closer towards your bum line. Begin in neutral, take a big breath in. On the exhale, tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Begin peeling up 1 vertebra at a time. Come up nice and high in a bridge line, keeping those hips nice and even towards the ceiling. Roll right back down to your start position. So use the bridge line dynamically to warm up through the spine, tilting your pelvis to 12 o'clock as you roll up with control, activating through the glutes and the hamstrings. Pause for a second and then roll back down 1 vertebra at a time, rounding and releasing before you come back into neutral spine. Close your eyes, take your focus in, and think of limbering up through the entire spine. So when you begin your roll up, tilt the pelvis and begin peeling up from your tailbone, 1 vertebra at a time, stopping when you reach the shoulder blades. Don't bring it onto the neck. Keep the chin tucked firmly towards the chest. And then roll back down for me with the same amount of control, 1 vertebra at a time to reconnect to the mat. Let's do 2 more, then we'll release the hips before we find our way into 4-point kneeling. As you come down on your next one, keep your left leg where it is and take your right knee out to the side and then feed it in towards the midline of the body, externally rotating through the hip joint. Change the direction. One more in this direction, then we'll change sides before we find 4-point kneeling. Left knee comes out to the side and then in towards the midline of the body, gently externally rotating and releasing through the hip. Change the direction of your circular trace, internally rotating this time. Let's do 2 more on this side, then we'll bring it over and find our way to 4-point kneeling. Gently hug the knees in towards the chest. Cradle, rock your lower back out and roll over onto your side. Find your way to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Give me a fisted line if you can. Wrists looking in towards the center line. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, hit a down dog. Inhale to come back to a hovering knee position. Playing between your little tabletop and a down dog frame. Give me 2 more like this. Use your inner thighs and your lower abs to control that knee action. Last one. Drop to the knees. Relax the bridges of your feet and swim up. Peel your arms out in front of you and play with a little dynamic side stretch. So starting with a kneeling frame, and then on the exhale, tilt your body weight just off the center line, but give me a nice strong plank line through the torso. Keep pulling up through the lower abs and your inner thighs as you come just off the center line. Give me 3 more like this, then I'll give you 2 play options for the next one. You're either going to drop back into your 4-point kneeling frame and you can repeat the down dog and the table using a flat hand, or you can come to a plank line on the mat and oscillate between a down dog and an up dog. So moving from your down dog frame through a tabletop line or a plank line and coming to a gentle back bend, giving me a strong inner thighs and connect to your core. If you're feeling really strong today, you can give me a little Hindu push-up. So you think chaturanga, coming into your up dog, exhale for the down dog. Bend the elbows with control. Play where you're at, either giving me a dynamic Hindu push-up or playing between a down dog and an up dog, transitioning through the plank line, or giving me a down dog and a knee tabletop. Wherever you are, work with control. Make this your last one, and then find your way to child and take a time out. Close your eyes, take your focus in, push into both hands and really sink the weight of your bum bones back. Breathe. Give me at least another 3 breaths there. Find your way from here into a butterfly position on the mat. Keeping your sideways orientation on the mat. Tuck the heels in as close towards the perineum as you can. Keep this orientation. I'm going to give you a front view. I want you to take your 2 thumbs and pretend that you're trying to unsegment 2 pieces of a grapefruit or an orange. So you're going to tuck your thumbs into the arches of your feet, wrap your hands around your foot, and use your elbows to just open up through the knees. Keep your back line soft for me today. So just softly nod your chin to your chest and think length through the spine. Keep peeling with your thumbs to open up that little segment. Hold. Give me at least 5 more breaths there. Give me a long line through the spine and keep pulling up strongly from your pelvic floor towards your waistline. We're going to change it up from here. We're going to bring it into a boat line, and I want you to play where you're comfortable. Preferably from your butterfly line, you're going to tip the weight off your tailbone and you're going to come into a full boat line, extending the legs out in front. If this is too much for you, drop your knees into table, the arms extended alongside your knees, or you can brace behind the thighs if you're feeling a little bit fatigued this morning and the weekend was too long. Otherwise, use those inner thighs, pull up strongly from the pelvic floor and keep extending through your fingertips and your toes. Hold. As you come down, we're going to bring it into a wide-legged seated straddle. So come down with control through the inner thighs and your core. Give me a pivot on the mat to face towards me and run the hands down your thighs, trying to hold onto the outer quadrant of your leg and dropping nose to the floor. If the floor is not an option for you today, keep it really simple, maybe reaching for your block as a prop and placing the block on the floor in front of you in any dimension. Bend the elbows, lean into the forearms and take a little stretch. So play where you're comfortable. Otherwise, running those hands along the outer quadrant, dropping down as far as you can, either stopping halfway or trying to connect your nose and your chest to the floor. So play where you're comfortable. Gently peel up along the midline of the body. Bend the legs in, tuck under, and find your way to a soft down dog frame. Bending through the knees and moving through the hips in Svananda, blissful dog. We're going to bring it into Bekasana, frog from here. You're going to drop to the knees and you're going to open up the knees as wide as you can, preferably a little bit wider than mat width distance apart if you can. Try not to tuck the heels in towards your bum as if you were coming into child. I want you to open up the legs so that you've got your heel and your knee in a straight line and the arch of your foot is connected to the floor. Drop down onto the elbows. Elbows are stacking more or less underneath your armpits. Take a big breath in for me for 5 as you lean the body weight forward. And then exhale for 10 as you try to bring your bum bones towards your heels. You're going to feel an intense stretch through the groin area. Inhale for 5 as you drag the body weight forward. Exhale for 10 as you pull back. The pull back is the active work. Try not to pike your bum up towards the ceiling. So try to keep your body line as parallel to the floor as you can. Inhale, peel back. Exhale, drop your bum bones towards your heels and keep that belly button firmly pulled in towards your tummy. Let's do one more set. Inhale for 5 as you come forward. Exhale for 10 as you pull back. We're going to find our way from here into an arching pigeon, and I will give you some play options. Just to release those inner thighs, I want you to gently drag your body weight forward, bring the legs in, bend the elbows, take them wide, stack one hand on top of the other, and gently drop or flop your legs side to side as you relax your forehead on the back of your hands. From here, we'll find a soft down dog frame and set up our high pigeon. Relax the bridges of your feet to the mat, bend your elbows, bring the arms in, come through 4-point kneeling and find a relaxed down dog. From your relaxed down dog, I want you to gently kick up the right leg behind you, swing the leg through, rotate the leg in, trying to line up the knee and the ankle in a straight line, or tucking the heel in closer towards the perineum. Relax the back knee, relax the back leg, and slide your body weight back as you walk up into a high pigeon. Readjust the front leg if you need to, and I want you to just drop the hands softly down to the floor. If you feel really uncomfortable in this pose, take your block, use the knife edge portion of your block and tuck it just underneath your bum crease on the right so that you can gently lean the weight of your body into the mat. Play where you're comfortable. Try to keep your shoulder line and your hip line as even to the floor as you can. Either keeping your fingertips and your hands softly drop down towards the floor, or think of that camel line we played with earlier on dynamically, and float both of your fingertips or sets of fingertips into your lower back, giving me a gentle back bend. Try to squeeze the two shoulder blades and the two elbows softly towards the center line of the body. Keep playing with that strong pull-up through the inner thighs and the lower abs towards your breast line to give yourself a nice high frame on the mat. Release. Find your way into a soft down dog frame. So tuck your back toe under, bring the knee up off the floor, and just give me a little shake out in Svananda. You're going to find your way from here into your down dog. Kick up the left leg behind you. Swing that knee through. Set up the lead leg in an angle that works for you. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Walk your body weight back. Find your high pigeon. Focus on trying to keep your shoulder line and your hip line as square to the floor as you can. So don't drop the body weight and lean aggressively into the one side. If you need to, take that block and tuck it underneath your bum crease on the left. Fingertips or hands softly connected to the mat. Your elbow line is soft and you're just melting those arms into the mat. Stay here or float both sets of fingertips into the lower back and take a supported back bend, trying to bring the shoulders and the two elbows in towards the midline of the body as you expand laterally through the chest. Your chin line is either parallel to the floor, or if your neckline is feeling comfortable and you want to play, you can give me a soft drop of your crown and open up through your throat. But play where you're comfortable. If the neck doesn't want to play, just keep that chin line in neutral. Give me 2 more breaths here, then we'll find our way into a 4-point kneel on the mat. Gently release, tuck your back toe under, and find a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Check that you're not leaning forward. Body weight evenly distributed between the arms and the legs. Take a big breath in. Float your left arm up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, tuck your left arm underneath the right arm, threading the needle, dropping onto the side of your left cheek. Try not to lean aggressively into the mat. So keep your body weight softly pulled back. Your hips are stacked over the knees. And then I'd like you to float your right arm up to the ceiling and keep extending through both sets of fingertips. Keep using your inner thigh connection and that strong pull up from your pubis. So activate your core. Find your way back to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Big breath in for 5 as you float the right arm up to the ceiling. On an exhale, tuck right underneath the left, threading through. As soon as your head connects to the mat, float your left arm up and think of extending and growing through both sets of hands. Give me a soft pushback action on those hips and try to stack your hips as best you can over your knees. Keep using your inner thighs and your lower abs, so keep your core active. Float back to the mat. Find your 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. We're going to bring it down onto the belly, so either working from 4-point kneeling or coming into a plank line. On the mat, you're going to chaturanga down, using knees or no knees. Bend the elbows, don't chicken wing them, hug them in towards your rib cage, see if you can hover just off the floor. And then as you connect to the mat, you're going to bring it into Sphinx, gently sliding the elbows forward. Try not to collapse through your frame. So you're gently pushing down through the elbows and you're growing away from the floor through your chest, finding a nice high Sphinx. Your legs are soft and relaxed and parallel behind you, and your gaze is down on the mat between your two thumbs. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, bend your left knee and point the toe up towards the ceiling. Stay or play by bending and rotating the right arm in so that the arm is parallel to the front of your mat. Push down strongly through that arm and elbow and see if you can float the left arm behind, reaching for the inside of your left foot. Just gently push the foot out and open up through the groin area and the shoulder on the left. Don't collapse your frame, so the whole time you're pushing down through that right front arm and you're giving me a strong shoulder. Float back to your Sphinx line. Arms are back in parallel. Big breath in. Bend the right knee and point the toe up towards the ceiling. Rotate and bring that left arm in. Don't collapse, strong through the shoulders. See if you can float the right arm behind you, reaching for the inside of the arch of your foot, and just gently push out, trying to open up through the groin area on the right and getting a beautiful little shoulder stretch at the same time. We're going to change it up slightly from here. Find your way back into your Sphinx line. This time, bring it all the way down and flare your elbows wide, stacking one palm on top of the other. You're going to start with your chin connected to the back of your hands, and you're going to think of finding a baby cobra line before we play with the legs. So keeping this position on your mat, pretend you've got a little marble underneath your nose. Start rolling the marble away from you, peel up, and stop with your bottom 3 ribs heavy into the mat. So your chest is just peeled up off. Bend both knees and point both sets of toes up towards the ceiling. Try to hold that arch in your back. Float both arms behind, reaching for the inside of the arch of the foot on both sides, and just gently push out. If you've got a lot of rotation through the knees, you might be able to drop your feet all the way down to the floor. For most of us, it'll be almost impossible, and you'll just get a nice stretch here through the shoulders, the knees, and the groin area. Come back towards the midline of the body. Nod your chin softly down towards the chest. As you reconnect your forehead to the mat, extend both arms alongside your body, back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up. We're going to break down locust and then bring it straight into bow, Dhanurasana. Keep your head and your hands where they are on the mat. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, squeeze both glutes to lift, hold, and float the legs just off the mat. Think extension through the toe. Don't give me too much arch through the lower back. Focus on a long line from your hip bone to your toe. Soften through the glutes and float the legs weightlessly back down to the mat. Keep your legs and your arms where they are. Focus on that marble underneath your nose. Roll it away from you to the front of the mat. Start peeling up. Give me a baby cobra line. So stop with just the bottom rib still connected to the mat. Make your arms heavy into the mat and try to grow from the middle of your shoulder line towards the nape of your neck. Try not to throw the head back, so give me a neutral long neckline. Float your torso softly down, one rib at a time, reconnect and retuck. Once you've reconnected, keep your head and your legs where they are. Focus on your arms. Softly squeeze the 2 shoulder blades softly together to lift, hold, and float your arms just off the mat. Extend through the fingertips and try to touch the wall on the other side of the room. Keep giving me length through your neckline. Hold. Soften through the shoulders and float softly back down to your mat. As you reconnect, employ all 3 movements dynamically. So peel up, lift the arms and the legs and find your locust line. Holding here or morphing straight into bow, Dhanurasana, by bending the knees one at a time and reaching for the front of your ankle. Try not to V the knees out. Keep them hip-width distance apart. And try to float your feet up towards the ceiling as you find a nice bow shape through the back, either balancing on your belly button or rocking the body weight gently with control back and forth between the hip bones and the belly button. Play where you're comfortable. If coming into bow is too aggressive for your back, hold the locust line and keep extending through your fingertips and the toes. Play where you're comfortable. Hold. If you were in the full bow, I'd like you to find your way back to locust. Extending through the arms and the legs. Hold your frame. Come back down with control. One vertebra, one rib at a time, reconnect. As soon as you've retucked that marble underneath your nose, bend the elbows, place the palms alongside your bosom, keep your elbows tucked in, and push back into toe. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Push into both hands and sink the weight of your bum bones back. If you're feeling an ache in the lower back, you can modify your child. Bringing your weight onto the fingertips and almost coming up as if you wanted to find table, stopping halfway just off your bum and giving me a slight rounded frame through the lower back. Keep your inner thighs engaged and your belly button pulled in. We're going to find our way into hero, and I'll give you some play options here. Creep your weight slightly forward so that you're towards the front end of your mat. Bring the knees together, flare out the feet behind you, and see if you can sit back between the two feet. So back view, you've got the knees together, feet open, and you're sitting the weight of your body between the feet. If this feels not really uncomfortable for you, maybe reach for a block. Open up the knees a little bit wider, tuck the block through, and sit back on the block. If either of those two positions is not happening for you today, just give me a kneeling frame and give me a supported camel. So play where you're comfortable. Find your way into the hero that's working for you, and then see if you can creep the hands behind your back line. Creeping as far back as you can. The knees don't need to be flush against each other, so just find a position that's comfortable for you and doesn't result in any pain in the knees. No pain. There might be slight discomfort. The stretch might be uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but there shouldn't be pain. Stay here or gently invert the hands and see if you can find your way onto the elbows. Keep opening up through the chest, so give me strong shoulders. Either stay here or see if you can come into a full reclining hero by easing the weight down onto your back. You're either softly holding onto your feet or the arms are at your sides in a Shavasana-like position. Arms are open at 45 with the palms open up. Open up through the knees a little bit if you need to, and just enjoy the stretch through the top of your hip flexors. If you're in the full position, just try to relax your shoulders into the mat, but keep a neutral spine, so don't try to imprint your lower back into the mat. Wherever you were, you're going to find your way gently back to your starting frame. Walk the weight up. Find your way into a 4-point kneeling frame and round out into a soft cat with your weight on the fingertips. Inhale, come through neutral spine. Give me a soft curve through the back, your cow. Exhale for 10 as you round out, stretching into the lower back and the shoulder blades. Pull up through the pelvic floor. Inhale, work through your neutral line and find your concave shape. Exhale to round out and hold. So you're holding the rounded frame a little bit longer. Work at a 1-to-2 ratio. So let's say you're inhaling for 5. As you give me that concave shape, I want you to exhale and round out for 10. Come back through a loose 4-point kneeling position. Tuck your toes under, walk your hands back towards your legs, and then step it wide on the one side so that you're facing towards me in a wide-legged standing straddle. Both hands are on the floor. If you need support, open up the legs as wide as you can. If you've got a nice strong inner thigh connection, so if you've managed to balance your body weight equally between the balls and the heels of your feet, you're going to softly float your hands up, holding for the outer quadrant of your foot on both sides. Nod the crown of your head down towards the floor, but don't lean into the head if you're low to the floor. Keep using your inner thighs and your lower abs to hold your frame. Prasarita Padottanasana C. Hold for me. You're going to find your way into a deep squat line, Malasana, from here. Reconnect your hands to the mat. Heel toe your feet in and drop into a low squat, opening up the feet to about 45 and opening up as wide as you need to through the legs to place your hands in prayer with the elbows on the inside of your knees and open up. If coming into a low squat is not happening for you, stop at about a tabletop position. Just gently lean the hands into your thighs, but try not to push onto the knees. So keep your grip just above the knee line if you can. Drop into the squat. That's working for you. Keep opening up through the groin so your feet are out at 45, not a full plie, so that you've got a nice sense of grounding through the mat. Pull up strongly through your inner thighs and your lower abs towards your chest line. We're going to bring it into a goddess line, Uttaka Konasana, from here. Gently drop the hands down to the mat. Open up your legs a little bit wider. You're coming into a much wider squat line. Peel up and open up your arms into a goalpost frame. Your feet are still out at 45. Try not to come into a full plie, or that might tip your body weight forward. So you're using a 45 on the floor and you're pulling up strongly through the inner thighs, through the lower abs towards your chest line. Elbows nice and parallel to the floor as you find your goddess. And then we'll play halfway between the goddess and that deep squat line, finding a horse line. Drop your arms softly towards your side and heel toe in so that you're somewhere between your squat line and your goddess. Feet are out at 45. Give me a soft bend in the knees from the side. Try not to tuck or stick your bum out. So tuck your tailbone under, scoop, bring your tailbone in towards your belly button. Find or hold an imaginary ball in front of your chest. Drop the ball down to the floor, pick it up, push it away from your chest, bring it back towards your chest. Take your arms out to the side, bring it back, drop down, pick it up. Push it away from your chest, bring it back, take it out to the side, bring it back, drop down, pick it up. Take it away from your chest, bring it back. Take it out to the side. Drop the arms at your side and heel toe your legs in. As you heel toe in, give me a swivel on the mat. Float both of the arms alongside your body, palms looking up to the ceiling. On the exhale, swan dive down, trying to tuck a palm underneath each foot. You can open up your feet slightly so that there's about 2 toes width between the 2 feet, and find a gentle gorilla with the hands tucked underneath the feet, and gently rock the body weight back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. You can give me a soft bend in the knees if you need to, if the back chain of the legs is really, really tight. Bend the knees softly. Find your way onto the haunches and give me a swivel, coming into easy sitting, facing towards me, leading with your right leg in front. So bend the left knee, tuck the heel as close to the perineum as you can, and stack the right leg in front. Big breath in to just drape and drop your fingertips, palms, or palms and elbows to the floor, or reach for your block if the floor is not happening for you today. Find your forward fold, maybe bending the elbows and gently leaning into the forearms. So play with the forward fold that's working for you today. Take a big breath in and peel up along the center line. Exhale for 10 as you cross over the midline of the body to place the right fingertips on the outside of your right hip and grab opposite arm to knee as you come into a gentle twist. Inhale for 5 as you come back towards the center line. Exhale for 10 as you twist in the opposite direction. Left fingertips behind you. Right palm grabs hold of the left knee and you give me a nice little oppositional stretch. Inhale to come back towards the center line. Exhale for 10 as you drop the right arm to the floor and give me a nice little overhead stretch. Just keep the right arm soft and try to drop as much of the arm to the floor as you can. That right elbow does not need to touch the floor. Just make it soft and weighted into the mat. Inhale for 5, come back towards the center line. Exhale, drop and give me a little stretch on the other side. Giving me a nice soft left arm. That whole left arm is soft and relaxed with a soft bend to the elbow and just lengthening through that top arm. Come back towards the center line of the body and change the cross of your legs. Big breath in. Just drape your arms down to the floor. Find the forward fold that's working for you, using block or no block as you weight the crown of your head down towards the floor. Inhale, come back towards the center line of the body. Exhale for 10 as you float the left arm behind you, crossing right arm to the outside of the left knee and take a little twist. Bum bones equally weighted and a beautiful long line through the spine. Inhale for 5, come back towards the center line of the body. Exhale for 10 as you move into the twist. Right fingertips on the floor behind you. Long line through the spine. Inhale, come back towards the center line of the body. Exhale for 10 as you drop the left arm to the floor with a soft bend in the elbow and give me almost a soft bowling action on the top arm to lengthen and extend. Inhale for 5, come back towards the center line of the body. Exhale, drop your right arm to the floor with a soft elbow and reach overhead with the left arm, opening up through the rib cage and those little intercostal spaces between the ribs. Inhale, come back towards the center line of the body. Change the cross of your legs. Coming into, I want you to give me either Sukhasana, staying with the right leg tucked in front of the left, or reach for your block or your block prop if you have it, and tuck it just underneath your bum so that the edge of your bum cheeks are sitting on the edge of your block. Find that edge and then take your right foot. Pretend that you are coming into the half lotus line, but drop and tuck your foot between the thigh and the calf, almost resting the weight on the 2 knees, sitting up nice and tall with the arms softly on the inside of your knees in Siddhasana, a modification of easy sitting. Keep your left hand soft and relaxed where it is. Take your right hand. Take the middle and index finger and place them between your 2 eyebrows, the third eye, or you can tuck the 2 fingers in, whichever feels comfortable for you. With your right thumb, you're going to control the closing and the opening of your right nostril. With your ring finger, you're going to control the opening and the closing of your left nostril. Begin by closing the right nostril and inhaling through the left. Close the left nostril, open and exhale right. Inhale right, close it, open and exhale left. You're going to get into a steady rhythm of your own. Inhaling through the one nostril, let's say for 4, and then closing and exhaling for double the amount on the other side. Get your rhythm. Once you've found it, either stay here or add in a third component, retention of the breath. So if you're inhaling for 4 through the one nostril, close it, nod your chin to your chest and hold your breath for 8. Release your chin lock, open and exhale for 8 through the other nostril. Inhale for 4, nod your chin to your chest and hold for 8. Release your chin lock, exhale for 8. Get into a steady rhythm of your own, playing where you're comfortable. At no stage should you be straining to either hold or exhale. So play with the breath ratio that's working for you. Anulum vilum, alternate nostril breathing. Take your focus totally in and focus on the sensation of the breath. Every time you inhale right, think of connecting to your warming pingala or sun breath. This heats up the body and builds energy, aligning to the male energy system in your body. Every time you inhale left, you're connecting to your cooling, calming Ida or moon breath. This connects to your parasympathetic nervous system, and it's wonderfully calming and restorative to the body. Make this your last breath cycle. Once you've completed your last breath cycle, drop both hands, palms down towards the legs, keeping your eyes closed. Just give me a couple of gentle recovery breaths, breathing equally through both nostrils on the inhale and on the exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, place your right hand palm over your chest and stack your left hand on top, connecting to your heart center, your anahata chakra. Let's end off today's practice by just taking a little bow and saying Shanti, peace. Have an amazing day, guys. Thank you so much for coming out to play. Give me a thumbs up to like this video. Please give me your comments in the comments box below. And remember to hit that big red subscribe button so that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and don't miss out on notifications. Have an amazing day. See you tomorrow, same time. Till then, keep it light.